Hey, there's Matt from 2A Cops Supporting Gun Rights. I'm out here today in the garage to take a closer look at that Palmetto Jakl 300 black pistol that I was having issues with in the other video. Reading through the comments, a lot of people are suggesting that it might be a bad chamber. Other people are suggesting it was magazine. Some people suggesting it's ammo. And then I sat down the day after, actually the same day I released that video, and talked to a friend of mine who gave me a couple of good ideas. One of them was to check headspace. I don't have a headspace gauge, but I do have go, no-go gauges, so I did check those. So let's talk about a couple things here real quick. Let me get these mags out of the way. Oh, real quick, like magazine-wise, the mags we were using, that is a Lancer 300 blackout magazine, and this is a Magpul 300 blackout magazine. I don't know if the camera will pick it up because that's awfully dark, but it does say right at the bottom here, 300 black. So these are 300 blackout specific mags. I wasn't having feeding issues because it was a regular 5.56 magazine, and it was having issues only with the subsonic rounds, which is a typical issue. Brings up one of my gripes with the original purchase of this gun. They ship it with a 5.56 magazine in it. They don't ship it with a 300 blackout specific mag. You're paying a good chunk of money for a brand new 300 blackout gun, and it ships with a 5.56 mag instead of a 300 black mag. It's a couple bucks PSA, throw in a 300 black mag. So let me get my go, no-go gauges out. This is the no-go, and this is the go. So for those who don't know, a go, no-go gauge is basically for checking the headspace and chamber to make sure everything's within tolerance. The go gauge, the bolt should close on it. The no-go gauge, the bolt should not close on it. So let's take the 300 blackout Jakl, drop the go gauge in there, and it is a tight fit, but it does lock in like it should. The bolt will go fully home with that in there like it's supposed to. And then we have the no-go gauge here. Drop that down into the chamber, and then it will not fully chamber that, which it's not supposed to. So those work like they are supposed to work. The other suggestion people were saying was that potentially it was bad ammo. That same ammo has run through multiple other guns of mine. This is the 300 blackout supersonic S&B ammo that was running just fine. It's a brand new box. I haven't even opened that one yet. This is the 300 blackout subsonic S&B ammo that I was having issues with. And one thing I noticed when I was going through all this to sort it out, let me throw that around on the ground there. S&B on their labeling puts a blue label on their subsonic ammo, and on their standard supersonic ammo, it's a brown label. So one thing that's kind of neat, so you can sort out which ammo they have. See if I can get this up here on the camera a little bit closer. The sealant around the primers on their supersonic ammo, it's just clear or whatever. And then on the subsonic ammo, there's actually a little blue ring around the primer. So if you've got their ammo and you're trying to figure out which one it is, look at your primer. All right, so this is the supersonic here. Let's see how well that chambers. It should not have an issue, which I wasn't having any issues with that. Works like it's supposed to. There's the supersonic. Here is an S&B subsonic. Actually, that one has been chambered before. Let me get a clean one. Go to the opposite end of the box. Yep, no marks on that one. So, drop that in there. That one chambers as well. Now, the Hornady Black, let me get the Hornady open here. So this is the Hornady Black. It does have the little ballistic tips on it. Let's see, this one, doing the drop tests like this earlier, chambers just fine. So it's not a chamber issue. It seems to be some sort of a feeding issue. Let's go with some S&B Supersonics and load them in the magazine here. I'm just going to put 4 rounds in it. Now if I put the magazine in here and I go to chamber it, see what happens. There it is. That was a full drop. I need more light over here. Let me bring the camera over where there's a little more light. All right, so now you should be able to see that my bolt did not go home. So doing drop tests with the ammo, bolt goes home just fine. Put the ammo in a magazine and it's causing problems. You can see that the mag, as soon as I removed the mag, the bolt actually went forward just a little bit. So that round fit in the chamber just fine, but it's not feeding from the magazine. Let me, because that round has got a mark on it like what I'm looking for to show you. This one does not have it. So every once in a while, these rounds are getting a scrape on them. You can see this scrape is all the way up into the projectile and comes down the side of the casing. Now I've got 3 rounds left in this magazine. See if it does the same thing. See if I can get it, and you can see on camera, there we go. So that one it chambered. See if this one goes. So it appears to be the right side of the magazine. As soon as I dropped the mag, it went forward more. So it's the round coming out of the right side of the magazine is not feeding properly. And depending on the mag, oh, this one's got it. Oh, wow, this one's got a big old chunk. So this is the one that just came out of there. There is a big burr on the front of the brass, right where the projectile is. So it's hanging up on something coming out of the right side of that magazine. This is, like, it's noticeable, very noticeable by touch. It's something going on with the right side. Now if I bring this back and drop it, nah, that wasn't enough pressure. I mean, there it is, it's chambering. So it's the same round that it wouldn't feed just a minute ago, just chambered. So what's happening, that mark is off the bottom of the bolt carrier. This one's got the same thing now too. What I think is happening, ooh, that is interesting. Let me see if I can get that out of there. Okay, so what I'm seeing potentially is it looks like the front of the bolt carrier has got a weird little machine, not evenly machined surface. Set this aside here. That's exactly what it is. Let me angle that so I'm coming in at a 90. As I come in and zoom in, you can see this portion right here, which you can see the kind of yellowish markings on it. That's because as it grabs the round at the top of the magazine with the front of the bolt and starts pushing that into the chamber, this other portion of the bolt carrier is riding over the top of the next piece of brass that's in the magazine, or the next round that's in the magazine. So that is not machined squarely. It's angling up this way. You can see there's more of an angle here, less of an angle over there. I don't know if that's intentional, but it seems very odd to me that that is not symmetrical. So potentially it could be a bad bolt carrier. Now that I'm thinking about it, hold tight and let me go grab the bolt carrier out of my 5.56 gun and we'll take a look. All right, so here's the 5.56 gun. Let's go ahead and open this puppy up and pull the bolt carrier out of it. I do not want to mix these springs up, although it doesn't look like I could. The 5.56 spring is definitely a heavier duty spring than the 300 black spring. All right, and the bolt carrier is going to look differently because the 5.56 gun's got a much longer piston. And it is definitely machined differently on the 300 blackout bolt carrier. I can't imagine they have a specific bolt carrier for 300 black. Piston length, yes, absolutely. Bolt carrier, no. So let me get the old camera phone out here. So coming back in here, let me get my pick so you can see what I'm pointing at here. So on this edge here, you can see it's machined way back here. This edge over here, it almost comes all the way out to the edge of the bolt carrier, because remember, the bolt is just loose in there. So let's put both of these bolts all the way forward too, so it makes it easy, more of a even comparison. So you can see there, it's machined at an angle. This one over here is my 556 bolt carrier. It's a perfectly square 45 off edge. So I think what's going on here is I think this bolt carrier is not machined properly. Something got screwed up when this thing was being machined. There's a very sharp edge on that right here where my finger is touching. That's a very sharp edge. That is probably, and that would make sense. When that's in the gun, that's on the left side of the gun. So that sharp corner there is what's leaving that gouging mark on the next piece of brass that's in the gun. Now, why is this only causing issues when shooting subsonic ammo? I don't have a clue. That doesn't make much sense to me. Using the same magazines, shooting the gun with the same mags, I don't know why it would be specific to the heavier rounds, but there is definitely a difference there looking at the front of the bolt carrier. Let me just throw this guy back together. I will say this, the 300 blackout pistol version of this, and I'm sure the 556 pistol version as well, is a little bit easier to put back together than my 556 rifle. And I'll show you why in just a second here, as soon as I get this back together. All right, that guy's back together. I don't know if it's just me or if this thing is just a pain in the ass, but when I go to drop the bolt carrier back into this, I got that long gas piston there. I don't know if you can hear that. It's not completely solid. It wobbles in here. Trying to get it back into the hole in the gas tube down below sometimes of course that time it went back together perfectly, has proven to be a little bit of a problem for me. But of course, when I'm on camera, it worked just fine. And again, some people are claiming that I'm bashing PSA. I am absolutely not. I love my 556 Jakl. I've already bought a stock for this, for that matter. It's the same stock as this. I already bought it in OD green because I planned on SBRing this, which if I can get it running, I'm still gonna do because I do really like it. I like this stock. I like that size gun. I think it'll make a fantastic little SBR. But obviously, only if it's running 100%. I'm not gonna potentially throw something like that, throw a gun in my car or a gun in my truck or my trunk, however you want to refer to it, truck gun, trunk gun. I'm not gonna throw something like that in my car that I might potentially have to save my life with down the road if it's not 100% reliable. And by 100% reliable, I mean when I get this thing back from PSA, I'm gonna do a lot of shooting and make sure it does function all the time. For that matter, I might try and source some ammo and do like a real burn down on it, see if I can put 1,000 rounds through it in a short period of time and see how it holds up. But first, we gotta get it running. Shipping that thing back to PSA in a couple of days, and then we'll see what happens. Fingers are crossed. So far, the warranty process has been easy enough. It's time consuming, it's kind of annoying. It sucks that you just spent $1,000 on a firearm and first day out, it's not working. So it sucks, but it is what it is. They're standing behind their product. They're gonna try and do what they can to fix it. We'll see how it goes. On that note, if you like what you're seeing here on 2A Cops, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. And by the way, always practice your ABCs, always be carrying. That's all I got for you.